So as far as the Patriot movement, and that's what LWN is, we are part of many patriots out there searching for the truth and delivering the news like it should be delivered. All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to LWN. It is Monday, August the 15th, 2022. I've got special guests with us tonight. We're ready to go. Got a great conversation planned for you guys and some good information. You'll want to pay attention to that tonight. A lot of stuff going on, and of course, we always like to get updated from Miles Franklin, and Andy is with us tonight. I also have in the waiting room SNAFU. And he has taken a hit just like I have. His channel is down right now for 2 weeks. I think he's almost up with that, but we're fighting back here at LWN as well. We got taken down last week, and I don't know. They may just completely nuke that channel, but that's all right. You guys can help us out by a simple request. If you guys just hit that like button, and more importantly, if you share this out, share it out on every platform you possibly can. People that are looking for us will be able to find us, and we'll come right back. So not a big deal. With that being said, let me go ahead and bring in our two co-hosts with us tonight. We've got Andy from Miles Franklin, and we got Scott from SNAFU. How are you gentlemen doing this evening?
Doing good, Mike.
Doing just fine. How are you?
Well, it's a little warm here in Idaho, but we get through those hot days. Scott, I know that you're a lot more in Texas. I believe, Andy, you probably deal with a lot of humidity there in Florida as well, right?
Yeah, I was just on the road with Bix Weir, sponsoring his road show, and we were in Texas and Oklahoma City. I gotta tell you, they tell me that Florida's hot. It ain't nothing compared to Texas and Oklahoma. I'm talking, I've never felt anything like that in my life. So yeah, that humidity is, I don't know. I think it makes it much easier to breathe, actually, than it is in Texas. It was 109 degrees. Getting out of the car, I literally felt like I was walking into a sauna. So it's humid, but where Scott lives, it's much hotter than it is down here in Florida.
Yeah, it's pretty damn hot around here. Let me tell you, it's 102 today.
Yeah, plus you got some humidity there, too, in Texas, right, Scott?
Yeah, somewhat. Oh, humidity's down around, you go to Houston and you got to cut the air to breathe because to me, it's just, because it is so damn humid. Well, I call Houston the armpit of Texas. So, it's a quaint term.
It looks like somebody may have met you there, Andy, on the road. It says it was great meeting you at the road at Ruta in OKC.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Bix is such a good guy and a patriot, and I drove in a Winnebago from Austin to Oklahoma City with he and his wife, and it was a trip. It was awesome.
That's fun.
Cool. Yeah. Well, the biggest story of the last over a week is obviously Mar-a-Lago. And everything that's happening there. I'd like to give Andy an opportunity first to go and kind of update us on some of the stuff that he's seeing and some of the stuff that's going on, and then we'll dive into that conversation about Mar-a-Lago. with Scott. And then what I'd like to do tonight, gentlemen, and for everybody listening tonight, if you guys could just stay tuned and hang out with us. We're going to have a conversation for about 20, 30 minutes, and then we thought we'd change it up tonight and do a rapid fire straight out of chat. So here in about 30 minutes, I'll open chat up for questions, and we'll try to answer them as quickly as we can. If you guys can label Andy, so I know which one to ask for Andy, Scott, for whichever one you want me to ask Scott a question, and myself, and that way I can get as many as we possibly can. That would be a fun night tonight. So Andy, go ahead. It's all yours, brother.
Oh, it's good to be back, Mike. Always good to be with Scotty. And look, I don't want to talk too much about stuff we've already talked about, so we can talk a little bit about what's been new in terms of economics. We had the president come out and say that inflation was 0% for the month of July, which was really not exactly true. It kind of makes me feel that's what he knows 0% about economics. But what he was talking about was that, that the price of goods overall, some went up, some went down, but it stayed at 8.5%, and 8.5% has made a lot of people struggle, and their struggle hasn't gotten any easier, hasn't gotten any harder, but it hasn't gotten any easier. 8.5% is still an awful lot, and it got me thinking that it just seems to me that the ideal of every nation is to be able to print as much money as it wants, and while at the same time keeping this inflation in check. And you wonder how the hell are they going to do that, and the only way that they can do that is to lie about the numbers. And it seems that's really what you see when you hear statements like that. In the month of July, food prices went up over 13% annualized. That's the fastest pace of increase in food prices since March of 1979. We had gasoline come down. Finally, people got a little bit of relief at the pump, but everything else went up extraordinarily. It was more expensive to buy a home in the United States in June than it has been in any month in more than 3 decades, since 1979, I want to say. So you got real median wages declining. You got property taxes increasing, food increasing, energy increasing. You got China dumping bonds for the 7th straight month, the longest stretch of selling in I don't know, well over a decade. And I just think that what's going on right now is really not peak inflation. It's not the end of inflation. It's not the end of tough times, and quite to the contrary, I think it's really just the beginning. You look and see what's going on as well on COMEX, and we're seeing massive amounts of deliveries. In fact, gold leaving the COMEX this last month was the fastest monthly rate ever. The amount of gold coming off is at the fastest pace ever. On the other hand, you have silver just being pillaged. I think over 240 million ounces was delivered off the London Metals Exchange in silver yesterday. Over the last month, we've seen over 100 million ounces of silver taken off of SLV. Over 60 million in the past month, 100 million, in the past 4 months. And so you're seeing huge amounts of distributions, and the only people that can pull the metal out of SLV are the commercial banks. So big money is draining the London Metals Exchange of silver, the COMEX to the fastest pace ever in gold. And if you remember, a while back, we talked about this group called the Others, these reportables on the COMEX that are sovereign wealth funds and family offices. You're talking the wealthiest, most influential, well-informed private investors in the world. They have taken, so far this year, or actually just over the last couple of months, they've taken over 321 tons of gold off of COMEX in deliveries, over 10 million ounces in deliveries. So you put it all together, you got the biggest money in the world that is accumulating gold, taking possession of it. You have record insider selling on the stock market. Big money is dumping huge allocations as all you get on CNBC are the talking heads are that, the Fed is going to ease off on the inflation pedal because inflation's coming down. The market thinks it's a rebound. Everyone goes in, jumps in, the indices come up, and the insiders are selling. You got the insiders selling. You got the big money taking possession of metal off of all the possible avenues, and then you have our media and our Bureau of Labor Statistics lying to us about inflation and inflation expectations. And then you have the new anti-inflation bill, which really isn't anti-inflationary at all. Wharton School of Business said that it will end up being negligible at best in terms of its mitigation of inflation, but they are going to hire 80,000 new armed IRS agents to harass the lower and middle class people. It was admitted that they'll go after the low and middle income earners because they don't have the resources to fight back, and that they expect to gain over $20 billion just from that group of people alone. It's almost as if we're living in some sort of dystopian world where everything is upside down. And I don't know. I as an American was horrified to see what happened to Trump. We don't go and raid Hillary Clinton's house, who whitewashed 30,000 emails. We don't go and raid any of the people on the Jeffrey Epstein list, but yet we go and raid President Trump's house with armed FBI agents at 6 a.m. I mean, you just wonder what the hell's going on in this world. And on top of Nancy Pelosi agitating the Chinese and all of these things that just continue to happen day after day after day after day, it makes you wonder, where's the breaking point? So, I don't know. I don't need to relate any of this back to gold and silver, but what I will just simply say is that it just is appearing more and more and more obvious that the days of the dollar being the solo world reserve currency are coming to an end. When you see a country like China dump treasuries over $100 billion worth over the last 7 months in a row, it just adds fuel to the fire that the world is de-dollarizing. Russia and North Korea striking new relationships every single day, every single week. It's more de-dollarization and insider selling, buying precious metals, taking possession of it. That all leads to one thing, and that's mass global de-dollarization. And yet our media and our talking heads have us pointed and misdirected in the 100% wrong direction. So I just think it's really important right now, more than anything, to get out of debt as much as possible, mitigate your exposure to equities, to variable rate debt, to even to fixed income things, anything at this point that's tied to the system. If things continue to move in this direction, I think are really in peril. So more so than I've ever believed in my career. And the speed at which this stuff is accelerating tells me that we're going to wake up on a Monday morning one day to a whole new reality. And my thread that I see happening every single day, I've talked about the de-dollarization and the move away from the dollar by in particular the BRICS nations, the catalyst for what I think is going to be the fuse that is lit. It's not going to be with the Federal Reserve. They're going to do all they can to not be the entity written about in history books. It's going to come for the rest of the world saying enough is enough. And I think that's growing by the day, looking at these perverted, ridiculous actions that our media, that our leaders are leading us down. The path that we're being led down is suicidal. So I wish I had better stuff to talk about. I wish I wasn't always the purveyor of doom. I don't mean to be. I just am losing. Until we see a change in this administration, I'm really afraid what's going to happen over the next 2 years, let alone the next 6 months. So I think it's time for everyone to really buckle up and pray that we get a change here in the midterms. Everyone needs to get out and vote and just hope that the system isn't rigged against us again. And get out and vote and do what you can to get a change. in the House, and we really need to do that in a big way over the midterms here in November.
Thank you for that, Andy. Andy really tries to give you guys the best information he possibly can. And I want to go to Scott and get his opinion, his view on what he's saying related to what Andy's talking about.
Well, several things. There's some great memes out there, floating around. It's like when it comes to the 85,000 IRS agents, it's like, well, send them all to Ukraine. They might could find something over there, The crooked money going on in Ukraine. I mean, because they're admittedly selling stuff on the black market now. It's just completely laughable on that whole front. And then, the whole thing with everybody knows about Trump and all that. And to me, it's just, I mean, they crack into the safe and there's nothing in the safe. It's like that's the greatest meme floating around. It's like they hire the best safe crackers and all they get is all open up a safe and nothing's in there. Boy, wouldn't you like to see the look of the stupid faces going on in the room right about then? It's like, holy crap. They got all the stuff that he supposedly has already been declassified long ago. So, if they go in there and try to edit anything and mark stuff up and say, oh, well, it looks like this. He's like, oh, you mean these documents right here? He has copies of all that stuff. So
absolutely does.
I mean, it's the greatest trap to me. It's like, they just way overplayed and they reached out. And now, why do you think they call him Teflon Don? Nothing sticks to him. So this is going to be epic. Besides, now he gets to, we'll see what happens. But it's just ramping up the rhetoric on their side and showing their hand on a lot of stuff. A lot of people are really kind of pulling for him, and now you see the whole twisting of how the narrative is, especially, if they want to start taking and saying, oh, there's people that hate the FBI and all that stuff. It's like, nope, just hate the corruption in government. That's all.
Exactly.
So, that's what you see coming down the pipe, and all these people that's gone through similar situations, and it's been happening for a very long time. So now everybody's getting to see it firsthand. It's a pretty good awakening, if you ask me. So,
hey, man, ever since he kicked the hornet's nest, I've said this a couple of times. What happened November of 2020, I believe, was a blessing, because it really opened our eyes to what's really going on and how corrupt things really truly are. Did we want a different result? Absolutely. Did he win? Absolutely. But with everything that's come out since then, prior to that, just Mar-a-Lago was one, in my opinion, one of the final steps to show how corrupt even the FBI is, which we all know they were corrupt, but look at how corrupt they are. Look at what they've done. Just two padlocks on the door in February, and they come in, they grab that stuff, they took their passports. There's chatter out there of them trying to get him for sedition and some other things. That's just absolutely ridiculous. So what happens from here? I think we could see an indictment. That's just my opinion. I think we could see an indictment. Does anything happen past that? I don't know, but they're going to try like hell, Scott, to really make it to where he can't run for election in 2024. Your thoughts on that?
Well, of course, there's a lot of things that could happen between now and then, So, I mean, there's a whole lot of interesting things still in play right now. And all this coming down at this time, he, all he has to do is start going in there and ask for discovery, and it just blows wide open. It works so far against them, it's unreal. And the amount of media coverage that they're giving it's gonna be a huge epic fail. It's going to be a huge fail.
Just like the rest of the things that they really tried to throw at him. Andy, what are your thoughts on the FBI going in there and taking his passports?
I saw something today. I mean, I don't know. I read a lot of stuff, and I don't know the veracity of it. But what I heard is that there were hidden cameras inside the safe room, inside this room that they opened up, and that they actually. The article says that they actually have them planting information. Look what I found. So I don't know if that's true or not. But look, the fact that they went there and did this to me is. Forget about taking the passport. That's horrendous. But even long before that, the fact that they would do this to a president, that they wouldn't go raid Hillary Clinton's house when she whitewashed 30,000 confidential classified emails, when they wouldn't go raid any of the people on the Jeffrey Epstein list. I mean, there's just so many.
How about the president's son, Andy?
The president, Hunter Biden. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. And yet they want to go and do this and make a big scene of it. It's so transparent. What they're doing is so absolutely transparent. But that's what makes it so frightening, is that they don't care anymore. They just do it right out in the open. These are things that I can't even believe. You go all the way back. The things that this administration has done just makes me shake my head. I mean, you go back to September 2021, leaving American soldiers behind enemy lines and allies, and doing things that would never have been done in this country, ever. Paying people to stay home and be unproductive, which creates demand because they're paying them. So you have more money, you want to go spend it, but at the same time, telling people to sit home and not produce anything. So there's less stuff. So they created an environment of more demand and less supply. There's your price inflation. There's the roots of it. Go all the way back to 2008 and all the money that they've been creating. But the things that they have been doing defy explanation and logic. And this is no different. And doing this to a president, it's mind-boggling. And I find it to be very frightening. And then you actually have zero people voting against this new bill. They rammed down the throats of this country. And I just wonder what the hell's going on. And you start to wonder, he's got an uphill battle. If these people are brazen enough to do these things right out in the open, and just to call something, the anti-inflation bill or whatever the hell it's called, and yet it has absolutely no impact on inflation. Because half the people in this country are so idiotic that they can't even understand that they think that the government's doing a good thing when they're going to spend $480 billion. Where the hell does that money come from? So I don't know, man. Mike, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but I find it to be scary as hell. I really do. Like, if they can do this to him, what can they do to us? Guys like you and I and Scott who speak up. What can they do to us? Come banging down on our door at 3 a.m, looking for something and some conspiratorial manifesto or something. I don't know, but all I can tell you is that I find it to be frightening, because this is something in the country that I grew up in never would have happened.
Well, just to give you that, it's the Inflation Reduction Act will cost middle class $20 billion in new taxes. CBO. The new CBO data shows Americans earning less than $400,000 per year will pay $200 billion more in taxes over the next decade under the Biden's new Inflation Reduction Act. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside?
Yeah. How about this one? How about this one, Scott? We have a pretend president that, if he doesn't personally fly to another country and get on his knees and beg for more production in OPEC, he'll send his cronies out to do it. He can't get anybody to commit to the United States to help us out in this crisis that was caused by his administration, which is an energy crisis. So then he comes back to the United States and he sits down with oil companies, or he puts out a statement to the oil companies here in the United States, blaming them for the crisis, saying that they're not producing enough or refining enough. What's going on? Why are you guys not producing more to help curb inflation, and then, Scott, to turn around and throw in the bill that they're going to raise taxes also on the oil companies to try to push them out to usher in the Green New Deal.
Well, that's okay because Biden's inflation bill made $7,500 electric vehicle tax credits. Ford and GM just raised their prices by the same amount. Breaking news. So get an electric vehicle. You're just too poor. That's your problem. You're just
Well,
poor. You
Scott,
need to
how
go get an
about
electric vehicle.
the
What the hell's wrong
elite?
with you?
How about the elite actually gets a rebate on buying electric cars? The top 1% of people here in America, if they go out and they buy a Tesla, there's actually some type of rebate that they get for doing so. But for us, the guys who struggle paycheck to paycheck, you guys just deal with it.
Oh yeah. Well, unfortunately, the gas did come back down because man, it was getting pretty brutal around here. $5 a gallon was like unheard of. Those people West Coast, they were getting $7, $8 a gallon. That was a beatdown for sure.
Yeah, but I wonder if that's the releasing of the gasoline from the strategic stockpile that's supposed to be there in time of war. Some of it we already sold to China and to Pakistan. I wonder if you realize that they're doing all they can to destroy the way of life for Saudi Arabia and going to green, moving away from combustion engines and gasoline. What was that really why he went there? I think he went there to beg them not to join the BRICS nations, which a week or two earlier they came out and said we're going to join the BRICS nations. And remember, we've talked about all along what makes the dollar the world reserve currency: the protection of the Saudi kingdom and the denomination of oil through OPEC in dollars. Well, what if OPEC, or Saudi Arabia in particular, joins the BRICS nations? I would argue that dollar hegemony goes by the wayside. So just food for thought. That's when the market takes over and does what the Fed has been saying they were going to do all along, but does it rapidly for them without any care for the ramifications here in the United States. So I don't know. I think that that's why he went to Saudi Arabia, more so than to beg for oil when we're doing all we can to tell them that this is just a short-term stopgap, but in the end we're moving away from you, and screw you, we're going green and going to Tesla and to electric powered vehicle. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah, well, that's we all know that's a huge mistake.
And to Mike's point there, right there, Mike Mazza, yeah, they did. And they also did it with Nigeria the day after they struck a joint military cooperation agreement. Nigeria has subsequently agreed to sell their oil to China already for yuan denominated bond that is immediately convertible into gold on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Saudi Arabia is doing the same thing. If you see them join the BRICS nations, it's going to be a whole different conversation that we have when that happens, and it'll happen really quick, and it'll happen on a Monday morning. You watch. It won't be something that people have any chance to prepare for. If you haven't prepared for it already, it's going to be like a hurricane in every single state in this country, like what happens to a grocery store down here before a hurricane. Supply chains will go upside down in a matter of hours. If you haven't prepared for something like that, which no one sees coming, but I've been talking about with you and Scott for the past year and a half, long before these developments have happened, or they just keep on happening. When that happens, it's going to be something that people in this country are woefully unprepared for. And that's, hopefully, if anyone's been listening to anything, it's just to take the steps of preparing for an event like that. We hope never happens.
I truly hope it doesn't, but I won't hold my breath on it. Kathy Taylor wanted me to say thank you, Andy, for directing her to the AABC in Australia to buy the gold and silver. Much appreciated. Thank you, Kathy, for that. I'm sure Andy appreciates it too. Just trying to help people out. And to answer one of the questions earlier in chat, you guys. So I'm leaving Wednesday morning for Denver, and then from Denver to Missouri for the Truth Summit this weekend. It is the 20th, 21st. We will be doing lives from Missouri. Some of you asked, when is the meet and greet that LWN will do? It is Friday, August the 19th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time in the Living Memorial Park, right there in Springfield, Missouri. So if you guys would like to join us, it'll be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right there in Living Memorial Park. I'd love to meet as many of you as we possibly can. If you guys want to make the trip, we'll be there on Friday. So, gentlemen, I think we're getting real close to going rapid fire. You guys ready for that?
Sure.
Do it.
All right. So if you guys want to address the questions to Andy or to Scott or me, we'll start taking questions out of chat. The first one that I actually grabbed earlier is, Andy, does Miles Franklin sell any kind of old coins? Do you guys carry any kind of old coins, or is everything that you sell fresh mint?
No, I mean, old coins to me would be pre-33 US gold, like you see behind me, or the Morgan dollars you see behind me. We sell any form of numismatics that you want, from silver to gold. And if you're going to buy old coins, if you're talking numismatics, that's right up my wheelhouse. We'll try to give you the biggest bang for the buck without paying too much. The reason I don't talk about it too much, Mike, is that it's right now it's kind of like the hot fudge on a hot fudge sundae. I mean, I think you need a big bowl of vanilla ice cream first. That's your bullion, where you get more bang for the buck. There's a lot to be said for U.S. numismatics, the old one. I love them, but they do cost more, and they will take away from the amount of ounces that you walk with. And I think in the end, where we are right now, it's about number of ounces that matter more than anything.
Gotcha. Why does gold go down when the market goes up, Andy?
They're inversely correlated is the easy answer. In fact, there's a group out of Chicago that was bought by Morningstar. Most people know Morningstar is a mutual fund rating agency. They bought a company called Ibbotson, which is a research company, and now they're part of Morningstar. But right before they got bought by Morningstar, they were tasked with finding inversely correlated assets to the U.S. stock market. And they came back and said the only one at this point, because of low interest rates, are precious metals. But the skeptic in me would say it's just the way that the markets are manipulated, that the powers that be would rather goose the equity markets. The weighting in the equity markets are so high in some of these stocks, like United Healthcare or Apple or whatever. Such huge weightings in the equity indexes. They can buy those futures, pop up the value of the equity markets, suppress gold and silver, and make everyone think all's fine. Keep on going. There's no problem here. Don't look here. The dollar's strong, the market's strong, the economy is strong. No, it's not. And I would argue in many respects, easy answer is they're inversely correlated. The probably more truthful answer is that it's overt manipulation in both markets, suppression in gold and goosing in the equity market, especially this late in the game, to make everything appear that it's okay.
Gotcha. What is the smallest amount of silver that you would sell, even 100, 200, maybe a large amount for some? And if not, you were to suggest picking some up at smaller amounts if they can't.
So, right. So, I mean, look, if you buy under 100 ounces of silver, it's a $15 shipping charge, and we lose on that on every transaction. To ship even at 1 ounce of silver with insurance is probably $15. But, I would think that if you're going to spend under $100 or $200, although you can if you want, but remember, $100, 15 of that's for shipping. That's 15% of the transaction. You're going to end up losing. But if you're going to spend under $100, strike a relationship with your local coin dealer. It's important to have one. A relationship with your local guy. I mean, we're here, we have no order minimum, and we're happy to earn people's trust in business, whatever size the order. But when it comes to practicality, I would probably buy $100 or $200 worth from a local coin dealer. that you can just drive to and buy a few coins. Even if you're paying a few dollars more, which you will, you're getting it right there without shipping. If that proves to be fruitless, why then give us a call? We'll take any size order. I mean, I've sent 1 or 2 coin orders out many times, so that's not a problem.
All right. Thanks for the answer. Let me see what else I can grab here. Mike, does Miles Franklin offer gold and silver backed IRA? How does it work?
We do. The IRA custodian is third party, and it's important, in my opinion, to always have delineation, separation between the parties involved. And so, in a typical IRA transaction, the first thing you'll want to do if you have an IRA with a different company is to roll it over to New Direction. Now, there are other IRA custodians that we work with, but quite frankly, the one that has earned my trust and my respect for the way, by and large, that they have dealt with the public and in terms of customer service is New Direction in Louisville, Colorado. I have no benefit in saying that other than 30 years of dealing with custodians, most of which aggravate me. Their website is N as in new, D as in direction, T as in trust, CO as in company.com, NDTCO.com. And you initiate a rollover or a transfer. A transfer is you take a piece of your IRA and move it into another IRA. The drawback to that is you have 2 sets of custodial fees. The other way of doing it is a rollover. These are tax-free movements from IRA to IRA or from old 401k to IRA, self-directed IRA. Anyways, you move it over, you roll it over to a New Direction IRA. You choose a depository. So they're going to give you about 10 or 12 depositories you can choose from. I have my favorites, but we can discuss that at that point. And then you place an order with us and we send the metal to the depository. So the answer is yes, we do. We're very good at it. And but I like to have separation between the company you buy it from and the company that is administrating the IRA. So we have a third-party administrator. You have a third-party vaulting company like Brinks or IDS or Dakota Depository. And then you have the company who sells you the metal like myself. And it's very transparent. It's a very above board. The key to the whole precious metals IRA, in my opinion, well, let's just make one statement. It's not just a precious metals IRA. It's an IRA with a custodian that allows you to buy precious metals. So it's an option. You could buy common stock if you really wanted to. I know that's not why you're doing it, but you're not pigeonholed into only owning precious metals. And then the best part about it, in my opinion, is the ability to take distribution at some point or liquidation, both of which are taxable events, in the metal being held for you. So, you got 500 ounces of silver in your IRA. You can say, give me my silver. You're going to pay taxes on it. If you're under 59 and a half, you're going to pay a 10% penalty on it. But it gives you the ability, especially if you sense trouble, you can say the hell with it. I'm out, cash out my IRA, give me my metal, have it sent to you physically as a distribution or a liquidation. So the answer is yes, we're very proficient. In fact, almost 20 years ago, I flew all around North America, or the United States rather, on behalf of, at the time it was American Church Trust, which became Gold Star. And I helped develop their IRA division. So yes, I am very adept. All of my brokers are very adept at helping people with the IRA rollover. But the first step is to go to New Direction, initiate the rollover, get it over there, and then call us and we will walk you through all of your options with great transparency.
Awesome. If you buy in bulk, is it cheaper?
Yes and no. I mean, it's gotten to the point where getting product is so damn hard right now that we just try to sharpen our pencil from the get-go. Always have. I mean, yes, we did a $50 million deal 3 weeks ago or a month ago, and she got about as big of a discount as you can get. someone spends a larger amount of money, typically we're going to give them a better deal. But what I just try to do is all of these online companies have these tiered platforms, and I just try usually just to give you the best price right from the get-go. And there used to be more economies of scale, in my opinion, where you get much better deals as you buy more and more and more. But it's getting really hard to get product, and the U.S. Mint they've only produced like 30,000 gold eagles in the last month. They've curtailed production by 50% or greater into the second half of the year. They've already been the complete and total model of inefficiency for over 2 years with silver eagles and platinum eagles. Getting product is becoming harder and harder and harder. The answer is yes, but not that big of a deal. 10 cents, 20 cents, a buck in gold, $2 in gold. Yes, but not enough to make it a huge difference.
Okay. Is there an amount that you ship for free?
Anything over 100
ships for free.
ounces, over 100 ounces of silver, over 10 ounces of gold. Actually, 5 ounces of gold. I mean, I do 5 ounces of gold and 100 ounces of silver. Let's just say that's where we're at. There are our company policy with a lot of the wholesalers I work with. If I have them drop for me, they'll charge it on anything. It has to be 10 ounces of gold or 500 ounces of silver. We just eat it at that point. So anything 100 ounces or 5 ounces of gold, anything over is free. Anything under that is only $15, and that's fully insured. So, we're not making money on shipping. In fact, on almost all of it, we lose money.
Andy, can I move my Roth IRA to silver? This money is tax-free.
Yep, same thing. New direction, roll it over to a Roth IRA. Once it's there, buy silver. And then you can take distribution anytime you want, really easily, and no taxes, and take in-kind distribution if you want, where you say, give me back my silver.
Another question was, and I won't ask you to do it tonight, Andy. Maybe when you're scheduled to come on the next time, you could have a little bit of maybe some of the pieces that you really enjoy showing to people, unless you have anything in front of you right now, which I doubt. They'd like to.
No, but I could run and get it when you're talking to Scott and show you a few things if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. That'd be awesome. Scott, anything that you would like to tell the audience that would make a purchase easier, or maybe your thoughts on owning just a little bit of silver or gold? Or for me personally, I don't have much. I spent what I could afford. I got a couple of coins. But it does give me a sense of security, knowing that if something did happen, I have a little bit to play with, maybe, trade with. If I don't have to use it, it's something that I've been giving my kids for graduation and for birthdays and stuff like that. Anything you'd like to add there?
Shoot, I was telling everybody about a month or two ago that I used, buffaloes to pay for a transmission in my Suburban. So, that's how you use it. People go, well, how do you spend it? I was like, you barter with it. Barter is going to come back in vogue. Hello. Knock, knock. Hey, is anybody there? Shit, hang on. So yeah, I mean, paid for a transmission with silver buffaloes. It was great. I asked the guy, I said, I can pay you with cash or I can pay you with buffaloes. I prefer to give you the cash. He said, I'll take the buffaloes. I was like, okay.
That's the second person, Scott, that I've heard that have actually purchased something with the silver rounds. People will take it. They'll take it in trade. Silver is silver. So even in my opinion, if the coin doesn't say what's the thing that I'm thinking of, Scott, there where you have the silver dollar.
You got the minute and the bullion, and the bullion be like your buffalo rounds.
But the bullion, an ounce of silver is an ounce of silver to me, and so it doesn't matter. But some people, they like the minted coins, and everybody has their favorites. Me personally, I just like the buffalo rounds.
Oh yeah, the buffaloes, like I say, they came in real handy. So I was happy to horse trade with him. He was glad to take it. And I know quite a few guys, they talk about it all the time. They like to do a lot of trade and work for silver. And so I hear that all the time. So they get
Absolutely.
some and they'll trade with it. So there's a lot of people trading silver you just don't know about.
Yeah, they don't go out and talk about it because they don't need somebody sneaking around the house late at night, right? Thank you, thank you, Orange Tractor Gal, for the coffees that you bought. Sending love, hugs, prayers, helping to send you to Missouri. Thank you so much, Tractor Gal, for that. That does help get us there. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us here at LWN. Um, yeah, if you guys, here's a question for you, Scott. Let's say somebody wanted to make a big purchase and they didn't feel comfortable keeping it at their house because they didn't want somebody to come sneaking around their house late at night. What would you suggest to them? Where could they put that would be a safe place?
Well, you could either put it in a Brink storage or you can put it in a depository. But you better have a place where you can put a big gun safe or something. I mean, if it fills up more than two gun safes, then yeah, I could see that. But I mean, there's a lot of people who have a couple of gun safes and they're plenty full. I'll put it to you like that. But if you got if you get like man, you'd have to get a whole lot to be wanting to do that. So
Absolutely. How do you get a hold of New Direction, Scott?
New Direction, Andy gave out their website address, so NDTCO, and go to their website address and the phone number's there, and call them. Say you want to set up an account. If you got an IRA or an old 401k, you might could even check with some 401ks that you work at may possibly could roll over. You never know. Don't hurt to ask. Most of them you can't if you're still working there, though.
Well, Andy, the floor is yours, brother.
All right, so I'll show you some stuff.
Sounds heavy.
That's a 100-ounce silver bar.
Damn it.
I love these. That's a good way to accumulate silver. I got a question for you. Which one do you think weighs more? Which one do you think is bigger?
How come this seems like a trick question? I'm gonna say the one in your right hand.
That's 10 ounces. That's 10 ounces. They're just,
Both
this
the
is
same.
really cool. These are Valcambi 10-ounce bars they're the coolest 10-ounce bars I've ever seen. They're like little pieces of chocolate. I don't know. They're great. They're awesome. This is a Royal Canadian Mint 10-ounce bar. Here's what the tubes of Silver Eagles look like. They come in boxes of 500. This is the new design for the Silver Eagle. That's the back of it. And the front. Let's see here. Gold Buffalo. U.S. Mint Gold Buffalo.
Oh, I like that.
Let's see if I can do this better. I'm not good at this.
I
See
like
that
I
at
like
all?
the I can see it. I like the buffalo. So what would
There's the Eagle.
what would the gold buffalo run right now, Andy? Just
Well, because the mint has curtailed production of everything, they're about 150, 160 bucks over the price of gold right now. They're bought back for over $100 over for sure. So it's just that the demand is well outpacing the supply. You can see the difference in color. I don't know. Can you see the difference in color? Let me turn this off a little bit. Can you see that difference at all if I go like this or not?
not really.
Okay, well, the Eagle is 22 karat, the Buffalo is 24 karat, and they both have the same amount of gold in it. They both have 24 karat, 1 ounce of gold, but the Eagle has a little bit of alloy in it, which decreases the purity. If I were going to be buying gold and premium didn't matter, and I wasn't going to buy the old numismatic coins, this is what I would buy right here. See that?
What is that?
Those are 1/10 ounce American Eagles.
Oh wow.
1/10.
1/10. It's about the size of a dime. That's what they are. So this would give you the greatest utility in gold, period. It's 1/10 ounce of gold. I know you can't really see that, but it's 1/10 ounce pure gold. It says it. It's to me, it's my favorite coin, period, in gold. A lot of people like this one here. It's the Valcambi breakable bar where you can break it into 1/10 ounce pieces, like a candy bar. They snap into 1/10 ounce pieces. I like the 10th ounce American Eagle the best. So if I wanted to like build a stash, a what if stash, I would buy the 1/10 ounce American Eagles. I'd buy maybe one tube of Silver Eagles if I had the wherewithal, because I think one tube would be enough. But then focus on getting other items like the Buffalo Rounds or anything else you can to get maximum value for it. I'd like to have some of the American Eagles if you can. They're just too expensive right now. In general, it's about number of ounces that matters. So whether you buy 100-ounce silver bar, 100-gram silver bar, 10-ounce silver bar, or a 1-ounce coin, it's kind of cool. Look at this. This is kind of cool. This, believe it or not, is the same amount of silver as this. The coin is 10 ounces too. Doesn't matter what form you buy it in. I just think that whatever you do, you want to focus on getting the biggest bang for the buck and not being penny wise and pound foolish. So don't go for the 1,000-ounce bar. Don't go for the big bar if you have the ability to buy 10-ounce bars. If you have enough money to buy 100 1-ounce rounds, it's going to cost you a little bit more than the 10-ounce bars, a little bit more yet than the 100-ounce bar, but you can never have too much utility, too much versatility, too much liquidity. So having smaller pieces to me is always a benefit.
I like that. Scott, the Buffalo Round barter one round, $1 or $20 that silver is selling for today.
I don't understand the question.
I was just reading it like it was typed. So I guess the question would be: is it worth $1? Is it worth $20? A 1-ounce silver coin is worth whatever silver.
They were worth about $27, $28 a coin, right around that time. And so divide that into 3,000. I think it was 60 coins is what I wound up paying. So that's how that worked out.
I'm trying. I didn't. This is something that I learned tonight from Andy, and I want to highlight it because I know there are people out there listening tonight that are sitting there thinking, well, I can't really afford a 1-ounce gold coin that's over $1,800 an ounce right now. But when you showed me the 10th ounce coins, that's a little bit more. That's a little more affordable for some people to get a smaller coin like that and then just stack them up, instead of trying to come up with $1,800 to buy an ounce of gold. So that was something I've never seen until tonight, Andy. So thanks for sharing that with us. I think it really helped.
They also make a 1/4 ounce coin. We actually have right now 1/25 ounce. Who makes it? Real quick, I'll tell you. I have 1/25 ounce coins. Now they have high premium. The mints charge more for them, but I have 1/25 ounce coin from the Austrian Philharmonic. And you're talking about smaller than the size of a button, but there are ways to get gold, and they're not as economical as buying larger pieces. But if you want to get a little bit to help for whatever, for trading or preservation, we do have the smaller coins available.
This is your sell this week, the 2022 Silver Britannicas. They're $4.50 over spot right now. Beautiful, beautiful coins.
And the Kruger, and those should be the best prices in America. I mean, we have bars that you can buy less money. Like the 100-ounce bar is probably 285 over, the kilo $3 over. There's a lot of better values, but for people who want legal tender coins, this is as cheap as I've sold them for in over a year.
Wow. Scott, you have anything else that you would like to add, brother?
Shoot, man, I'm just watching the whole shit show unfold right now. So,
Thoughts on the Canadian maple, Scott? You have anything you want to talk
I
about for the
haven't
Canadian
seen one.
maple?
I don't know what it looks like. So, I haven't seen
What
one.
about you, Andy?
They're the purest silver coin in the world. Those and the kangaroos. Kangaroo is probably a better value from the Perth Mint in Australia. I like the Maple Leaf. They are 4.9 fine. They don't make too many. The Kangaroo and the Maple are the only two 4.9 fine coins. Look, the U.S. Mint and then a close second, the Canadian Mint, have both been very inefficient in their production and their distribution. So the premiums on the maples are much higher than the other coins, the Britannia. So there's 6 mints. Okay, let's make this easy. 6 mints, really. I mean, the Chinese and the Mexican mint don't amount to anything, but 6 major mints: U.S., Canada, Austria, Australia, South Africa, United Kingdom. The two that you just showed there, the United Kingdom, Britannia, and the South African Krugerrand, are 2 of the 6 major mints. The other on that side of the pond would be the Austrian Philharmonic and the Australian Kangaroo. The Kangaroo and the Maple Leaf are the only 2 4.9 fine pure silver coins out of all 6 major mints. They're lovely. The maples are fantastic, and for all of my career, they were the same price as all of those other coins. All of them were 50, 60, 75 cents less than the American Eagle. Right now, the American Eagle is $7 or $8 higher than all of those coins. The Maple Leaf being the one exception, which is it's probably $2 higher than the Britannia or the Philharmonic or the Kangaroo or the Krugerrand, and they've always been the same price. There's no reason that it should be. So while I like them a lot, I wouldn't buy them. I'd buy the Kangaroo, I'd buy the Britannia, I'd buy the Philharmonic, or I would buy the Krugerrand. They're all the same. It's like Pepsi, Coke, Sprite, 7-Up, Dr. Pepper. I mean, if you drink soda and you don't like Dr. Pepper, but you're dying of thirst, you just mowed the lawn and in Austin, Texas, it's 109 degrees out, you'll drink it. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that, it's kind of like the Buffalo Round. So it's RC, it's like we've had this discussion before, you and I, Mike, about it's just generic. Well, so what? In the end, it's the same amount of silver. So all of these coins I like, but if you have to pay these inordinate premiums to buy them in comparison to everything else, I wouldn't. And the Maple Leaf is in that description. I wouldn't buy them right now. They're too high premium. I'd focus on the other 4 mints: UK, Britannia, South African Krugerrand, Australian Kangaroo, or Austrian Philharmonic. All going to be better values.
Awesome. We had a question in chat. How do we buy? You guys can go to info@milesfranklin.com and you can use promo code Liberty Warrior Nation. Yes, it does help us out here at the show. We're very grateful for Andy helping us out and Miles Franklin. Or you can call 1-800-822-8080. If you guys don't have the internet or don't like using the computer, just make a call. He's got lots of friendly staff. I've used them before. They really help you along in the process. So I really appreciate Andy and Scott coming on tonight. Just a great time. And like I said, tonight with the 10th ounce gold coins, Andy, that is just something that I don't think in the time that I've known you, I don't think that was something we really truly discussed. And I just thought that maybe gold might be out of my reach in my budget, and now it looks like that might be something I might be able to afford.
Yeah, I mean, look, typically the reason I don't talk about them is that they carry higher premiums in relation to the 1 ounce coin. But Hey, you know what? I think if that's what you can afford, it's a good way to accumulate it, and it just happens to be offer you the greatest utility or flexibility or barterability in any form of gold. So it's about the size of a dime, almost exact same size of a dime. So yeah, 10th ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce, 25th ounce Philharmonic. We do sell gold by the gram. I think we have 10, and 20 gram, maybe. They're small little wafers. So any size, we're happy to earn people's trust and help them protect themselves any way they can. And of course, our new website, the internal soft launch is the 22nd. That's next week, I think, where it's opened up to my office where we can start making changes on it. My whole staff will go through it, all of my brokers and whatnot. I'm hoping right around the time Labor Day rolls around that we can open it up for your listeners, and where they'll be able to purchase online as well, up to $10,000 at a pop. And but in the meantime, or anytime after, people who prefer to do it the old-fashioned way, I prefer the old-fashioned way. Give us a call, send us an email, info@MilesFranklin, and mention Liberty Warrior Nation. And if you want to, reach out to Scott as well, ask him questions. He's available. So we're all one big happy family and team.
Amen. Amen. Scott, I think I'm going to go to you first, and we're going to roll into final thoughts for tonight. I appreciate you joining us tonight, Scott, since you are on YouTube vacation. It's been a pleasure having you on. We've been dropping your link in chat. So if you guys haven't heard, Scott's channel got taken down. So if you want to find him, mods have been dropping his link in chat so that when he comes back up, I think next week, he'll be, I'm sure, raring to go. So thanks for joining us, Scott. And Andy, of course, always thank you for being here for Miles Franklin, great partner at LWN. Scott, go ahead, kick us off for your final thought, and then I'll go to Andy.
Well, it's just what's kind of going on right now. There's a whole lot of things in action and in play, and I'm not counting nothing out, not dismissing anything. A lot of the stuff that you're hearing is made to really ramp people up, and I ain't buying none of it. All this stuff you see, I'm going to be watching this shit on YouTube going, man, that sure looks dumb. Oh, man, that's got to hurt. We sitting back drinking some tea or something, So I'm not going to get all wound up about all this dumb shit that's going on. That's for damn sure. But just picking out the info that's coming out and leaking out all the way around, it's really becoming very interesting, and it's all heating up at a very good time. So it's going to get even hotter for a little bit longer, and so it's always a good time to get everything in order. Get you some silver, get your preps, all that other stuff. Just don't buy into all the hype, and that's what a lot of some of this stuff is a lot of hype. And you're seeing the rogue government on full display right now, and they don't call him Teflon Don for no reason. So nothing sticks. And that's what's going to be real interesting coming down the pipe now. So that's all I got for final thoughts.
Well, thank you, Scott. Andy, your final thought tonight?
I think I said enough already tonight. I wish that what I had to say was more encouraging and optimistic. And someone said Andy needs a pep talk. I do. It weighs on you sometimes a little bit. Always bringing negativity. I try not to. I try to spin this into positivity, because look, through all of this, there will be opportunities for some. For others, even if there isn't opportunity, there's time to still prepare. And what's the worst thing that happens if you stock up on food? You donate it to a food shelf if you don't need it. If you stock up on necessities that, you really would need if there was an event where you couldn't access them, you'll be damn glad that you have them. And if not, you donate it. The same thing is true about getting some cash. Go to the bank, go to the ATM, get as much cash as you can, up to, you know, a few $1,000 in 5s, 10s, and 20s. Have some cash. Get all your preps in line, like Scott said. That's very important. Get some gold and silver. It's not singularly focused on getting gold and silver. This is a much bigger thing ultimately, because I think that what I'm most concerned about is the massive supply chain disruptions when this breaks. So get your house in order. Get it in order now. Who God only knows what they're going to do leading up into the midterm elections to try to you know, keep the Republicans from taking back the House. So, you know, I don't want to be an alarmist and say time is running out, but it kind of feels like it is, with the acceleration of things that keep happening. And that to me is kind of the benchmark or the hallmark. It's freaking me out more than anything, is the acceleration of things that once were unimaginable. So gold and silver are just part of it. Get your house in order, and I think keep informed, and you know, keep the faith. Hopefully together we'll all make it through this, and the first step in it is at least being aware of what's coming. And I think we've lived for a very long time above the standard of living that we were entitled to, largely by the good graces of our foreign creditors. When you see a country like China sell over 100 billion bonds for the 7th month in a row, selling bond after bond after bond, this is ominous to what the future brings for the standard of living in this country, on top of all of the things that we've talked about, this linear progression of events. It's time to get your house in order. And this is not about buying medals from Miles Franklin and me talking my book. It's that I think it's starting to get far more real than I ever would have given anticipation or given credit for. So in any case, enough of this. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, Mike. I do, and I care about you and Scott and the people who call us and trust us with their hard-earned money. It means a lot to me, and we'll be here standing by, trying to help best we can and go through this together, all of us.
Amen. All right. Thanks for that, Andy. Here's my final thought for tonight, and then I'm going to go back to SNAFU for the final. All right. First, keep your faith in God. God wins, and you know, without this faith, there is no hope, and we got to have hope for our future. I think there is going to be opportunity, even when things look horribly wrong. You just got to play your cards right. You got to be smart about how you spend your money, where you spend your money. If you guys would like to purchase precious metals from Miles Franklin, then you can go to info@milesfranklin.com. Use promo code Liberty Warrior Nation. It does help this channel out. He's got the best staff out there. Scott is part of that staff. If you guys want to reach out to Scott, you can do so. And we are going to be this weekend in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri. I think it's going to be a great time that I'm going to share that information with Scott. I'm going to share that information with Andy too when we get out there and we get to finding out what's really going on with this information dump. So you guys pay attention. LWN is going to be live all weekend long, as often as we possibly can, putting out information. So if you guys want to catch that, make sure you're subscribed. Share this out. Subscribe to the backup channels. Get on our email list so that we can put out the emails to you guys when things are happening. And most importantly, just, you know, have a great evening. Enjoy your family. Get your house in order, like Andy and Scott said, and just make sure that you guys are prepped up and ready for anything. Scott, you want to go ahead and cut us out, brother?
Yeah, everybody, stay frosty. Donald Trump is a fucking genius.
All right, guys. Love you all. God bless. See you on the next one.
All right.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. Can you tell me the secret of how you can take it or leave it? How you can blend in with the crowd? I'm so scared, so damn afraid to look. I'm so sick of talking. I'm wearing the words out, words out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. When it feels like everyone's out to get me, I see the river on the